Hello, fellow Star Wars fans. My name is Star Raptor, and welcome to the channel. Today's review, we're going to be talking about the long-awaited original graphic novel from Dark Horse Comics, and that is Hyperspace Stories, Qui-Gon. This is written by George Mann with artwork by Andrea Mutti. This one was supposed to come out, I think, in 2024. It was announced back in October of 2023 at New York Comic Con. We had this brand new slate of a brand new original graphic novel worth of anthology stories pertaining to Mace Windu, Grievous, Qui-Gon, and a whole bunch of others. That was long delayed, but they are finally here. In case you have forgotten about them, the first one is all about Qui-Gon Jinn. And before we get started, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel for the latest on Star Wars and more. So yes, George Mann is no stranger to Star Wars. He is one of the key people in developing the High Republic initiative. So he is basically implementing some of the things he delved into within this book, and that is mainly the Brotherhood of the Ninth Door. So what is this story about? This is contemporarily set at the point right before the Phantom Menace. We have Qui-Gon, we have Obi-Wan, they're responding to a distress signal, and that leads them to discover that the Brotherhood of the Ninth Door is involved with what is happening of the disappearance of this person on the ship. So we get to figure out a little bit more about what makes the Brotherhood of the Ninth Door something that is to be reckoned with. Who are these people? What do they do? How do they compare to the Sith? That's all explored pretty well. I think George Mann does a great job. He also provides a lot of haunting kind of horror that he's so good with when it comes to Star Wars. So really, it's three different segments broken up, and that's what I really like about this story, is because as Obi-Wan, as Qui-Gon are investigating what's happening on the ship that leads them to the discovery of the Brotherhood of Ninth Door, Qui-Gon is there telling stories to Obi-Wan about, his prior experiences had dealt with the Brotherhood of the Ninth Door, and that leads him to telling the earliest story of him and his then master, Count Dooku, searching on Jedha, going around trying to figure out what happened, where they can find this tomb of this artifact that has to be destroyed because it's very dangerous, and that leads them to trying to track down the Brother of the Ninth Door. Then we get a speed up and go to a further era of time, and that is when Qui-Gon Jinn is a Jedi Knight, and that also leads him to his first confrontation with the Brotherhood of the Ninth Door. So what's really great about this series is we get to see Qui-Gon in these different eras of time, getting to see how he reacts to Count Dooku, but also what he learns from his master then is how he's able to kind of behave a little bit, take things that he learned from Count Dooku and impart that knowledge on Obi-Wan, which I thought was really great. I liked the differentiation and the discussion and the delving deep into what the Brotherhood of the Ninth Door is. These are dark side users, and that worries Obi-Wan. But they are not dark side users in the sense of the Sith. They are using parts of the Force, the dark side parts of the Force, but it's not necessarily for evil. And I think that's what's really cool about the story, is it gets into the themes overall for your life of you can't judge a book by its cover. You should go and understand your enemies, seek to understand the differences, and maybe you can come to an accord. And I think that's what's a really great message that George Mann puts in this book that really just shines bright for me. Of course, this book has no shortage of action. There's plenty of cool moments that really harken back to the Phantom Menace specifically, which is really neat. But overall, I think this is a joy to read. My only gripe is I wasn't the biggest fan of the artwork, and take with that as you will. Obviously, art is very subjective. I just found that the faces kind of looked a little bit different for me, a little bit like the eyes, the way they were drawn. There, again, this is very nitpicky. There's probably people out there that are going to love the art style. For me, it just didn't personally connect with me. But still, the storytelling itself was something really good, and I hope that this, I think this bodes well for the other original graphic novels that we're going to get. Like I said, Mace Windu, General Grievous. So it's a nice exercise in actually reading a Star Wars graphic novel in one sitting, the way that it's not broken up by different actual issues. It's actually meant to be consumed in one sitting. So we haven't really seen that before with any kind of Star Wars book. They've been, released on a monthly basis, and that way the storylines are meant to be consumed at a month's a month's time to continue on to keep enticing the reader. So reading it this way definitely felt different than reading those, miniseries that are supposed to be put into a trade paperback further along the line. So that is something that I'm happy that Dark Horse is going to be doing on a more regular basis, and it definitely helps the brand of Star Wars give us something new, to experience all over the Star Wars timeline. So that's going to do it for my review. I definitely recommend Hyperspace Stories, Qui-Gon. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. For more on Star Wars, you're already in the right place. Go ahead and check out the rest of the content here. But that's going to do it for me, Star Raptor. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always.